Partaya Pradibodhidam Bhagavatam Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Kratita Puranam Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshini Bhagavati Ashtadashadhyayini Ambatvam Anusantatami Bhagavad Gita Bhavatveshini. Pujasri's notes you had sent to Swami.
Yes.
Through that, about Atma, reality, understanding reality.
Yeah. Went through that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very interesting. But only thing, we have to internalize it. So you have to keep reading it, again and again. Otherwise.
Yeah. I have sent one. Ashwin had some satsang here. I will send you after the class.
Okay.
Since Saddarshanam, one that slokam, vis-a-vis what is the understanding which Swamiji talked about in the last talk in terms of. So what is the elaboration thereof? I'll just send it. You can go through that. It will also help.
Actually, before you had sent Sanatanam, remember? Something I felt it was almost, both sound the same.
Yes. See, the thing is, one is the prakriya, methodology. When we do the methodology, we have to validate what we are, our current living. Okay. Once you get to the level of understanding, thereafter there is no real, there is nothing like mithya and all that. Everything is satyam. But you must be able to see that oneness in everything what we do. If you are able to do that, then we will not have any we can't keep all the time remembering what is satyam, what is mithya and all that. Not necessary. You have to live one whole life as satyam. So that is where the understanding helps. Once you get into the level of understanding, then you must be able to. I was explaining to him the Saddarshanam I had sent now one clip.
Yes.
That the prakriya that they talk about mithya, maya and all that. But when you look at that understanding part of it, when I shared it as Swamiji has said, how you look at the whole thing, and that there is no mithya, maya and all that. There is only one understanding that the whole thing is, like for example, in our body, honestly, in our body right now, when I am talking or when I am typing something, so many million enzymes and million neurons are working simultaneously to make it happen. It doesn't happen just like that. Something like a computer program, whatever, even if I do like this, if I tell something, so many things, so many neurons are working in the whole body, whole system, blood has to work, heart has to work, everything continuously. And they are not looking at it as time, space and all that. It's all continuously running. There is no time, space in the body politic. If you look at the body politic, there is no time, space. Everything is satyam. The whole life also you must be able to look at it that way. If you are able to do that, then once we know what is satyam, there is no change. Change and space, time and all are coming only because of the mental category. Our mind is, if we are able to see here, I am not able to see there. Okay, then there is a concept of space. If I talk now, 10 minutes back what I talk, it is not there. So we want to remember. So we bring memory. And then time comes. Otherwise, as far as satyam is concerned, like even our body politic, which is automatic, there is no real time and space concept at all. That is why Einstein was able to say time and space is, you just have to knock off. If you knock it off, the whole science changes. Like even the lighted screen, what you see is only the pixels, There is no, even though in the screen it appears that there is a tree and there is a mountain, there is a space in between. If you really look at it, there is no space between that mountain and tree in the screen. They are all in one space.
Okay.
So that is how our life is. And even the previous scene is gone. What is current? Sat is the only scene. The previous scene we remember, so we are able to build a story. So likewise, our world is also a story built up in our mind. That is why both time and space are called mental categories in Shastra.
Now that you are saying this, Swamiji, see, when we attend Nochu Swami's discourse, now only I am able to understand what he actually meant. He'll keep repeating, most of the discourses. You say, நம்ம பாடியில வந்து செல் எல்லாம் அழிஞ்சுட்டே இருக்கும். இப்ப நான் பேசினே இருக்கும் போதே நான் புது செல்லு பழைய செல்லு போயிட்டே இருக்கு. அப்ப வந்து அதுல இருந்தே உங்களுக்கு வந்து புரியணும் வந்து ஆத்மா வந்து இதுதான் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அப்படிதான் சொல்லுவார். அது அர்த்தமே புரியாது. என்ன சொல்றார்? செல்லு வந்து டையாயிட்டு இருக்கு, புது செல்லு வந்துட்டே இருக்கு. இப்போ இந்த மோமெண்ட் தான் நிரந்தரம், இந்த மோமெண்ட் கூட நிரந்தரம் இல்ல, போயிட்டே இருக்கு அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவார் அவர். அப்போ என்ன சொல்ல வர்றாருன்னு அது I never used to actually understand, but he used to keep on repeating this most of the discourses. But now that when you're explaining, I'm able to now connect.
Definitely. That is what those things I have put it in that this thing. I will send you one thing. What I had with Ashwin, she also felt very nice. Both of them, Rajini and they read through that and all that. So I will send you that entire satsang. Something similar to what we sent it to Ramamurthy, no? Something similar to that. You have to connect and bring them all together. No, once the understanding is there, the whole thing has to come together. Then only it makes sense. If it is methodology, teaching and all are fine. You can learn it in compartments. But when it comes to your life, it has to all make sense together here and now. Then every moment of your life you will be able to see the Satyam, the Sadeva Satyam. What Ramana was able to, in the sense he had that inspiration. But only Kavya Kantamuni was able to bring it out as a teaching. He really extracted from his mouth and put it across. So we all have to be grateful to him for bringing. Otherwise Ramana was not interested. He was able to have that, he had that experience of death and he was able to interpret life. But how? I will send you that this thing. I have connected and I have sent it.
Actually, Swami, Ashwin sent me one Pratipaksha Bhavana. What you said.
Exactly.
That relates
all that I will put it together and send it. One particular full beautiful. He kept on probing me, so I said, okay, I will do that.
He sent me
really nice, but it will be very, very, drastic way of looking at life. But that is the reality. At the end of it, that is what Ramana said in simple terms. If you look at the whole thing, this is what it is. This is what I have put it there. Because generally people think it's Ramana is mystic. No. Perhaps he was not very keen on explaining everything and somebody had to draw him out and put the Ulladhanarpadu, Muruganar and Kavya Kantamuni, all of them really had to draw from him the words and put it together, and then only they were able to use it for teaching. But his was an inspiration because he had it all in his head. So he wants us to do the inquiry and learn. But when we do the inquiry, we need guidance. That is precisely what the texts are all about. But we should not get stuck at the text level. We must be able to get to the understanding level.
Actually, I don't know if you sent him this, but he sent me. What he sent is a very nice piece by Swamiji where we practice Pratipaksha Bhavana first. Dveshas cease when we take it further to make the appraisal more comprehensive. As Swamiji suggests in the end, we learn just to be. Shanti accommodation and Shanti peace follows.
Yeah. That is, that he has just put one piece as his own learning from what I have sent. But what I have sent, I will send the whole conversation. To you, you will be able to make sense out of it. I will send it after the lectures. Yeah.
We were talking about organizational pressures and
Yeah, for him, yes. He felt that if we are able to be, he is able to accommodate everything without getting flustered. That is fine. That is usefulness. But in terms of understanding life, I have put a lot of things together. I will send it across. I have put Ramana, I have put Saddarshan, and I have put Swamiji together in the context of the recent talks by Swamiji. So you will be able to make sense out of it. And because some of them we have already in that conversation with Ramamurthy I had sent. So along with that I have built it up. So I will send the two blogs are there. One on Pratipaksha Bhavana and one on Saddarshana. Both the blogs also you read. The blog details also I have given there. Yeah. Let us see. Now let us go through this.
Swamiji.
Srishti and day of Laya of creation.
Huh?
I said happy Vinayaka Chaturthi to Swamiji.
Yeah, Srishti and Laya of creation. Yes.
He greeted us.
Oh,
Prashant.
sorry.
Yeah.
Namaskaram to Swamiji.
Namaskaram to Swamiji. Sorry.
Purna Asirvadam and Swamiji's, Puji Swamiji's Asirvadam to all of us. Yeah.
Thank you.
In this verse, Bhagavan says that every day when Brahmaji goes to sleep, the whole cosmos, including the physical and subtle bodies, resolve. Then again the whole creation arises when Brahmaji wakes up. On the other hand, if you consider that the whole creation is totally dissolved and an absolutely new creation comes up, then there are three possible problems which Shankara raises here. Here, Krita Vipranasa.
Krita Vipranasha. Yeah.
The total destruction of something created, Akrita Abhyagama, the coming into being of something that is not created, and Nispala Tattva,
Nishpalatva of the Shastra.
Of the Shastra, the purposelessness of the Shastra.
Yeah.
Krita Vipranasa.
1 minute, somebody is calling me, just a minute. 1 minute. Yes, yeah.
Krita Vipranasa, the total destruction of something created. If all the jivas in various lokas resolve into Brahmati, they will be gone. Since they were ignorant, in endless births, they accumulated endless karma. These karmas will also be gone now and have no possibility of rectifying. The karma done by these jivas without being completely fulfilled or destroyed, because they also dissolve when Brahmati goes to sleep. So we have the complete destruction of something that is already created. This would be a logical defect in Ishvara's creation. Akrita Abhyagama. In this paragraph, what is he saying? I am not able to understand.
No, the thing is that, see, there is the whole thing, there is nothing called creation. There is only manifestation and unmanifestation. There is no creation or destruction. It is like going to sleep. When we go to sleep, nothing is destroyed. Everything becomes unmanifest. Next day morning, when you wake up, everything that was there in the previous night before you went to sleep, you come up with. So, there is no nasa in the sense, whatever work, whatever karma you have done, you will have to enjoy the karma phala, good or bad. So, just by dissolution, when the whole pralaya comes, everything gets dissolved. That means, okay, everyone can wait for pralaya. All my papas, all will get resolved when the pralaya comes. So why should I bother? Why should I try to neutralize? Why should I try to improve? Why should I try to get out of this by doing punya karma and get better birth or antakarana shuddhi and get to understand? Why? Because the whole thing, like even Brahmaji, jivas are also, there is nothing is, like even science says, there is matter and energy is never destroyed or never created, it only interchange. The same way, the Shastra also says there is no complete destruction or anything. It is only manifestation to unmanifest. Vyakta to avyakta. Avyakta to vyakta. That is what is happening. So there is nothing like krita vipra nasha. Whatever you have done, complete nasha doesn't happen. And akrita abhyagama, without doing anything, something gets born. Now that also, like even a seed and a tree, the whole thing is a cycle. The whole jiva, the whole srishti is only a cycle. Nothing is destroyed, nothing is, everything is, there is only Ishvara. But the jiva, individual differentiation itself because of the maya and then your avidya. You think that you are separate. Whereas there is only one Sat. There is only one Sat, the awareful being which I have been telling, which Sat Darshanam also talks about. There is only one Sat. And in that everything is happening like a movie. Only the one lighted screen Sat is there. So nothing is lost, nothing is gained. So you can never think that all my good bad karmas will get dissolved one day. I just have to keep living my lives, various lives, and something will get nothing gets automatically. Everything will keep going in cycle unless you learn, unless you see and understand that you are not away from Ishvara, you are not away from there is no second. Advaitam, unless you understand, there is no Vimochanam. And if you understand, you don't need a Vimochanam. If you don't understand, there is no Vimochanam. If you understand, you don't need a Vimochanam. Here and now you are Mukta. So, that is the beauty of the whole thing. That is what he is trying to say. There is no Vipranasha. There is nothing abhyogama, akrita abhyogama, because it's a logical fallacy. From nothing, anything cannot be created. And what is there cannot be destroyed. Because destroyed means what? It's only a change of state. That's all. Nothing. All Panchabhutas inside, when you die also, all the Panchabhutas get merged in the Panchabhutas. So nothing is really destroyed. Only that you think that you are the body is you, and that is gone. That's all. Because the Sukshma Sharira is not there. So what Shastra's explanation of Vyakta and Avyakta, unmanifest and manifest, is more logical, and then what has been postulated by other philosophies that which is talking about like Shunya or from other philosophies of the contemporary time of Shankara, they were saying that from something not existing, something get existed. From Anu, Paramanu and all that, which are all logically fallacious. Whereas what is being told here by Shastra and by Gita is what is correct. That's what he is trying to say. So, Krita Vipranasha is not there. There is no total destruction of something which is already there. And from nothing, something gets created, that also is not there. So, the whole thing is a cycle only. Vyakta and Avyakta, that is what he is trying to say. Yeah.
Akrita Abhyagama, the coming into being of something that is not created. Every time when Brahmaji wakes up, new jivas are created. But these new jivas have no karmas. It means Bhagavan creates varieties of new jivas for his own amusement or for no purpose at all. There is no rhyme or reason to the creation. There is a second logical defect, coming into being, the coming into being of something that is not created. The karmas in the account of the jivas get destroyed if the jivas are destroyed. And if new jivas are created, then they come into being without any past karma and so on. So what is created is destroyed and what is not created is brought into being. The next verse will dismiss both these defects. The third difficulty is nisparatva, the purposelessness of the Shastra. There is a Vidhi Nisheda Shastra which enjoins certain actions and prohibits other actions. You will gain punya by performing the prescribed actions and incur papa by doing the prohibited actions. Then there is the Buddha Moksha Shastra which says that there is the Bhatta Moksha Shastra which says that if you keep performing such actions, you will be in bondage, whereas if you know the truth, you will be released. If the jivas totally disappear in pralaya, they will not enjoy the results of their many actions, good and bad. Without that and without any knowledge, they will get liberated. So both Vidhi Nisheda Shastra and Moksha Shastra will have no meaning. All of you have to do to get liberated, all you have to do to get liberated is to wait for the kalpa to end. It is something like amnesty. If you wait long enough, it will come. You just keep living in Shastra and you will get liberated anyway, because everything is going to end one day. You need only to wait for Brahmaji's night and let it all be over. Next verse removes this difficulty also.
See, these are all the fallacies that are being pointed out. And these fallacies exist in other religions also, like Christianity and all that. So he is pointing out the fallacies. What is being told here is not the reality. The reality in terms of Shastra, time and again he keeps telling that this is logical fallacy. So what is the reality? The reality is the whole thing is a cycle. Birth and death is a complete cycle, and by doing karma or by pralaya, nothing is going to be, you are not going to escape, you are not going to get liberated. So by karma, liberation is not possible. Only by understanding, liberation is possible. That is what he is trying. And even the karma mukti, which karma and upasana, and they are trying to go by the power of yoga, they get to the Sushumna Nadi and try to get that Sahasrara and go to Brahmaloka. All that is also only a exalted action. At best, you can give them the benefit of doubt. Then they have done no papa karma. They have done all punya karma and upasana. Because of the power of tapas, they will go to Brahmaloka, and there hopefully they will get the knowledge from Brahmaji and then will get liberated. Otherwise, when they come back also, they will be born in good place where they will ask the question and get the understanding and get liberated. So the benefit of all this karma and upasana and disciplined living and Vedic living rituals etc. is only to, if you ask for it, antakarna shuddhi, otherwise punya palam, by which you get better birth as a human. Definitely you will not be born as an animal, you will get a human birth. So there is every chance in the next janma you will ask the question and get it. Which Shastra, the Gita as well says, what is the point? Why postpone? If you can do it now, why not? So that is what we are aiming at, we are getting to. The next verses will store after 20, again go back to the same thing what we have been talking about. Here and now the understanding has to be complete. All these are good. It's all told in the Shastra, it's all available in the, our Vedic life. All this karma, upasana and puja and all those things are there, valid. In their own place they are valid in terms of gaining punya karma, gaining better birth, or if you ask for it, you will get antakarna shuddhi, where you will be in a better place to study the Shastra. Like all of us are studying Shastra because we have not done any bad karma, that's all. We have been doing a reasonably good life, we have not been doing bad things to others. So we are able to get to a situation where you are able to study Shastra. So that is how you have to look at it. The ultimate is understanding. Saddarshanam, the understanding of life, the wholesome understanding of life here and now as awareful being. Desha kala vastu aparichinnam is the reality of you, me as well as Ishvara. That is the whole thing. If you are able to see that, then there is only one life. Sat, everything happens like a movie. Just do whatever you need to do, what you are understanding to that extent. Don't, there is a matrix of dharma, like do unto others as you would like to. Keep living. But with this understanding has to be thorough. That is why we are keep on studying, so that the understanding becomes thorough. That is what it is, yeah.
In the next verse, Bhagavan shows that the jiva is helplessly caught in the cycle of creation and dissolution. Karma has its source in a fivefold affliction: avidya, ignorance; asmita, ego; raga, likes; dvesha, dislikes; and abhinivesha, attachment or even mistaking something which is non-eternal as eternal. Why does a person perform karma? It is only due to abhinivesha, a fondness or preoccupation with something. For instance, one has confession that by going to heaven, one will get moksha, or simply by getting a thing one will achieve a given end, and thereby better one's lot. Similarly, Ragadvesha is the source of karma, and to do any action, there must be a subject, the agent, Ashmita. All these are possible due to avidya, ignorance. Together, these five are the basis for a karma. Since they exist in the mind of a jiva, karma has its abode in the jiva because of the force of this karma. Necessarily, without one's willingness, the jiva is forced to perform action.
Swamiji, you were talking about just be without any thought. Okay, but I was trying. I felt it was very difficult because how can you just be without any thought in the mind?
No, what you have to do is that you should not put a condition like without a thought in the mind. What you should do is, whenever a thought comes, you, for example, as of now when you are saying you are thinking of Ganesha, because this is a Ganesha, you are thinking, what you do, when the thought goes to Ganesha, you look at his vibhuti like Vignahara, Vigneshwara. Then Vignahara, how can the same God can be Vignahara as well as Vigneshwara? That means what? He is neither Vignahara nor Vigneshwara. That means what? He is Sarvam. And that Sarvam, what way he is different from other things? Nothing. So he is the being in which all the vibhutis are all there. So in my own case, all my vibhutis, my body, my senses, all I am surrendering unto his feet. And so once I surrender, I the being is there, Ishvara the being is there, Vigneshwara the being is there. Like that, your thought, you must drishya, this is called drishya anuvidya dhyana. The sense, you see the oneness of you, what you want, what is the objective of meditation? Being, right now, to be. So you bring that being in that whatever your drishyam, whatever your object of, that is drishya anuvidya. The other thing is, whenever you get some thought, you just allow it to pass. Let it come and let it pass. You come back to the being. Like, you suppose you are Ramanama, you are Rama, and between something else comes. You just allow it to just pass, just allow it to pass. Then go to Rama. Like that. And once you don't resist any other thought, the thoughts will lose a hold on you. They will stop coming automatically, I tell you. Once you observe your mind, they will stop coming. The thoughts will stop coming. You just observe your mind. That's enough. Automatically thoughts will stop coming. Then you pick up the japa and continue. And in between the silence is there. No, that is your being. Keep doing. Initially you will not avoid thoughts. What you will do? Rama. You will do fast. And once the thoughts stop coming, then you do Rama. The silence in between. That is the being. So that is why that abhyasa as well as that what we have discussed. No, that. Rajahati yata kaman sarvan partha manogata. You padam bhakramadi thoughts are just don't resist it, just allow it to pass. Rajahati yata kaman sarvan partha manogata atmani atmana tushtaha siratvikyastu uchyate. So once you allow it to pass, no, automatically if you don't resist, they will stop disturbing you. I tell you this. It's the best way to meditate. There is a meditation as a technique also. It works by just observing the mind. You observe the mind, the thoughts will automatically stop coming. But if you resist it, they will keep coming. Yes, do not resist.
Resist it, it will come more forcefully.
Yeah. That's what Swamiji, I think I told you on undergrad also. The best way to spoil a fellow's meditation is tell him, you can meditate, I'll give you mantra, nicely meditate, but don't think of a monkey when you meditate. Yes. And only monkey started coming in his meditation. So, best is don't resist. That is why that I have told you that the drishya anuvidya dhyanam, shabda anuvidya dhyanam, ahangraha upasanam, sampad upasanam, All are various, in different ways you can meditate. Now you don't have to resist or anything that suits, just observe your mind, observe, then automatically it will come silent. Then you start observing the silence. Then you do some japa, japa, or even the form, a Ganesha form you can bring in. Just see and look at his vibhuti and align yourself with that vibhuti and just be. Automatically, once you surrender your own, all your thoughts, tanna mana sab kuch tera, once you put it there, and all the glories of the Lord also are put it there in the Vigraha, and the Ishvara is there, you are there. Both are being only. And that alignment and oneness will come automatically. So the various ways you can build it. It's not, you have to, there is why that Abhyasa and Vairagya, both have to come together. And Dhyana, meditation, whatever you have discussed in the 6th chapter, you follow that. Continuously you will follow, you will get it. It's not difficult.
Actually, daily I do japa meditation, but I just do it and also a form meditation. But then, no, it is different. This I planned and I sat and I tried, I thought I should not have any thought and I thought I should meditate like that. So I sat and I started.
I don't think that is not, that I should not have a thought that will be a resistance. Don't do that. So I should not have just be is thoughtlessness only, but that it has to happen. It cannot be willed.
Probably when I do japa and form meditation, it comes. I don't realize it.
What you do when you do japa and between the two chants, do mental japa. Initially, oral japa, and once you get the concentration, do mental japa. Once you get the mental japa, also elongate the silence in between two japas. Silence, that is being.
Okay.
Yeah. You have to elongate that silence. That silence is being. You will get it, I tell you. But don't sit with the sankalpa that I should not have thoughts. That is a resistance. That doesn't work. Yeah.
Verse 19, repeatedly coming back to assume birth is samsara. Bhuta gramasa evayam bhutva bhutva praliyate ratriya game vashapartha prabhavatyaha ragame. Sa eva ayam, that is indeed this. Bhuta gramaha, group of beings, avashaha, necessarily. Bhutva bhutva, having repeatedly come into being. Ratri agame, when the night comes, praliyate, dissolves. Partha, O son of Pruta, aharagame, when the day comes, prabhavati, it arises. Partha, Arjuna, the same group of beings, indeed, which having repeatedly come into being, necessarily dissolves when the night of Brahmaji comes. When the day comes, it necessarily arises. Without any personal volition by the law of karma, a person comes into being again and again. Every time the day breaks for Brahmaji, all the beings emerge. Then again, having existed, they resolve. Bhuta gramaha sa evayam bhutva bhutva praliyate. Bhuta grama means all forms of life, mobile and immobile. Saha and Ayam used together indicate that which was before is the one now mentioned. The same group of beings that went into Pralaya in the previous Kalpa is the group spoken of here. It means Pralaya is not a real dissolution but an unmanifest condition. Ayam tells us that the same group of Jivas and not any other comes back again. The group of beings that existed in the previous cycle, the previous day of Brahmaji, returns in the next cycle. The repetition of the word Bhuta as Bhutva, repetition of the word Bhutva as Bhutva is meant to show the cyclic nature of the past and also that same beings go into Pralaya, then again come back.
1 minute, somebody is knocking. Yes. Yeah.
Since the same ones who became unmanifest return to fulfill their karma, there is no destruction of the created karma. New jivas are not created. The old ones are coming back. Both logical defects are dismissed by this verse. The exception to this are those jivas who got liberated. They do not exist as jivas. All that is there is Param Brahma. Only those who go into Pralaya come back. When do they resolve? Ratri agame avashaha praliyate. When the night of Brahmaji comes, they necessarily resolve. Avashaha. Necessarily.
Avasaha.
Avasaha.
Vasam. Vasam means without our volition. Vasam means without our control. Avasaha. Necessarily. Means they have no say over this.
Avashaha. Necessarily means they have no say over the matter at all. They are forcefully pushed into dissolution. Prabhavati aharagame. Then the entire group of beings appears again when the day breaks for Brahmaji. Since the jivas are infinite in number, their karmas are countless and they can therefore appear in any form. Sometimes you find more animals on this earth and fewer human beings, or fewer animals and more human beings. It is the nature of the process, but they are all there somewhere in creation. In time, they all come into being.
See, basically what they are now, what the lokas are trying to tell is, they are called Srishti Prakriya. How the whole jivas, there is a model that is being talked about in detail, how the jivas come into being, how the animals are there, why a human being, all those things. What are the reasons, what is the logical, how they go into dissolution, how they come back, all these things. So these are all basically academic in terms of explaining the Srishti for us. In terms of understanding the Tatparya, we will again get back to it. Once the Srishti Prakriya is over, we will get back to the understanding again. Yeah.
Amen.
The Big Bang.
The Big Bang or the biological theories of evolution are in keeping with this because they are processes. We do not accept an immediate, simultaneous creation of everything, but we consider it to be a process. First, the infrastructure comes into being, then everything else comes about as part of a process within that. So it is said here, again and again they come back. Bhagavan says this explicitly to help you develop vairagya towards samsara. You are not going to solve the problem of samsara by being in it. Repeatedly coming back to assume a birth is samsara. Then in a given life there are ups and downs of sukha dukkha. This is samsara. It repeats itself. Do not have the illusion that you can just go on living and one day when the kalpa ends you will gain moksha. There is no such amnesty. When the kalpa ends, it is like sleep. As soon as Brahmaji wakes up the following morning, you come back. When this is the case, moksha shastra is necessary. Vidhi Nisheda shastra also becomes meaningful. Your punya papas have to be accounted for in terms of experiences. The papas have to be gone through. The punyas have to be enjoyed. You can neutralize some of your karmas, but you cannot totally eliminate all of them because there is an inviolable cause-effect relationship between an action and its result, which is why karma phala is called Rita Satya, it is true. It can wait even for one kalpa, but if not now, later in one form or another, here or elsewhere, the jiva will reap his results. Once Brahmaji is awake, the subtle bodies are going to experience their own punya papas in some form. It means both the Vidhi Shastra and the Nisheda Shastra become meaningful. This is within samsara. Then Moksha Shastra also becomes meaningful. Through knowledge there is freedom, Jnanat Mokshaha.
Yeah, in the sense, this Karma Shastra, when it says that you cannot escape, or by exhausting karmas you are not going to get out of samsara, it also means karma is not going to give you moksha. Because it will be in cycle. So, how to get moksha, how to get liberated? Only by understanding. So both ways, the cyclic nature of karma and phala, it says that you cannot escape karma phala because it's cyclic. At the same time, you will not be able to get moksha without understanding. By karma, you cannot get moksha. Both the things are proved by the cyclic nature of the Srishti or the Srishti Prakriya. Yeah.
This verse shows us that the jivas do not disappear in pralaya. They continue to exist even there and then they return. By saying this, Bhagavan emphasizes what he pointed out before, that is, there is no way of getting rid of samsara except by reaching him. Gita 8.15 to 16.
In this thing itself, we have seen that before, no? 8:15, 16.
Brahma loka.
Brahma Bhona Loka, yes. So you go and come back. That is how it is.
That teaching is identifying yourself to be Parameshwara, which is the one thing that is eternal, Nitya. Earlier in verses 13 and 14 of this chapter, Omkara Upasana as a means for gaining Brahman was pointed out. Om can be a name for Brahman, in which case it is to be understood, knowing that you are free, or it can be meditated upon as a symbol of Parameshwara. By this, you go to Brahmaloka and can gain the knowledge of Brahman. Now, if Omkara is Vachaka, the name, then what is Vachya, the named? What is it that is revealed by Omkara essentially? It is shown in the next 3 verses. Since there seems to be a repetition, Shankara introduces these verses saying that they are taught with a desire to unfold the meaning of Aksharam Brahma, which was referred to as Om Om Iti Ekaksharam Brahma. Gita 8.13.
And here also we have seen that, no? Om Ityeta. The same thing. He will explain now. The Om will be explained in the next 3 verses as a connection to the next chapter. Yeah.
What is the real nature or meaning of Omkara, which stands for Aksharam Brahma? What is the nature of that Brahman for which Omkara is Vachaka, the name? By knowing this, you can gain Brahman. In other words, moksha. It is the purpose of the next 3 verses.
Prashant, you can stay and read.
Swamiji, this puja, we are saying this Brahma, Loka, Dasesha, Loka Parvata, Ye Vasanti Puja, Deva, Stepyo, Nityam Namo Namaha, we are saying, no? In that also we are getting this Brahma, Loka, Dasesha.
Brahma Bhuvana Loka, meaning that time Ang Sabdam is to begin with. Ang Brahma Bhuvana Loka. From there, that is the meaning of the word From the Brahma Bhuvana Loka meaning, from there it all starts and it keeps going. That is how it is. Yeah.
Verse 20 and 21, the unmanifest, Avyakta Atma is never destroyed. Paras tasmatu bhavonyo vyakto vyaktat sanatanaha yav sarveshu bhuteshu nashyatsu na vinashyati. But yaha, that which is tasmat avyaktat paraha, distinct from that unmanifest. Anyaha avyaktaha, another unmanifest. Bhavaha, existent. Sanatana, eternal. Saha, that. Sarveshu bhuteshu nasyastu, when all beings are destroyed. Na vinashyati, is not destroyed. But distinct from that unmanifest is another unmanifest, which is existent and eternal. That is not destroyed when all beings are destroyed.
See, this Vyakta and Avyakta we have talked about, the cycle. Okay. Now this chapter itself is referred to as Aksharam Brahma. Aksharam means Om syllable. What it says is Avyakta Param Aksharam, meaning even though this Vyakta Avyakta is a cycle of manifestation and unmanifestation, if you understand that the Tatpurya behind this whole thing is Aksharam, once you understand that, then you will be out of this cycle. That is a moksha sadhanam. So what it is, that is going to be explained here. So even when the unmanifest and manifest keeps going on, there is something beyond unmanifest and manifest. Om iti aksharam. That is what they are going to describe in these 3 verses. Yeah.
In the previous verse, Bhagavan showed that everything becomes unmanifest, and from that unmanifest condition, everything comes back. This must be clearly understood. When we say the jiva is anitya, it is not like saying a pot is anitya. The name, form, pot is finite. From the standpoint of the pot, its cause, the clay is not. The pot form is destroyed but not its cause, the clay. Similarly, when we say that the jiva is anitya, it is only the name form, the upadhi that is anitya. When the physical body dies, subtle body remains, and when pralaya comes, even the subtle body goes. And what remains is the causal body.
Causal body, yeah. Paranasari.
Unlike clay, which is the cause of pot, here the causal body is also anitya with reference to Param Brahma. Only Atma Vastu is nitya. When you say I am a jiva, the I is really Atma. Just as when you say this is a pot, there is clay plus the name form pot. Similarly, when you say I am a jiva, there is Atma plus jivatva, the individuality which is only a superimposition upon Atma caused by avidya. If in saying I am a jiva, Atma is mistaken for the individual that I is nitya, because jivatva is anitya, superimposed on what is real, the Atma's swarupa is nitya. We need to understand this well, otherwise there will be a problem of a mix-up between what is vastu and what is avastu. This mix-up exists in every situation. Only the vastu is real, avastu being dependent upon the vastu for its existence. Since it draws its existence from the vastu, the avastu is not another object. It is non-separate from the vastu. Therefore, there is only vastu. This entire world is nothing but Param Brahma. All that you see, the seed and the sight are nothing but vastu. If this is understood, you know that at the time of pralaya, the jiva is dissolved into the unmanifest. The avyakta upadhi, otherwise called ajnana upadhi. In this Upanishad, we learn this prana, ramam, mana, anandam, shanti, samriddham, amritam. Is that part coming here? Satyam, param, satyam, anandam, brahma, prana, ramam.
Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma, it is not being discussed. It has been already discussed, not in this. It will come, later it will come, not now. Yeah.
When Brahmaji goes to sleep,
What it says is, this, even when the pralaya, the ajnanam will still remain. Unless the ajnana goes, even though pralaya means all vyakta will become the vyakta, but as long as the ajnana remains, unless you understand your reality is satyam jnanam anantam brahma, that unless you, then only you will, that is called aksharam brahma. Actually, satyam jnanam anantam brahma is aksharam brahma. Om ityeta, that Om meaning is, it is not, Om has got the waking state, the dream state as well as the sleep state. But the meaning is called the Turiyam, the fourth state, meaning there is no real fourth state. What is underlying in all the 3 states and which is not changing is Atma. That is what we have to understand. Once we understand that, we will go through this sleep, waking and dream and all that as part of the upadhi, like as part of the jiva, sukshma sharira, sthula sharira, whereas the being is the reality. That understanding is satyam jnanam anantam brahma. That is part of the Upanishad. Upanishad talk only about what you call the reality. They don't get into a prakriya wherein they will be explaining all this. Here it is explained. Why? Because there is a context. Karma and upasana is that Adi Bhuta, Adi Deva, Adi Adhyatma, Adi Yajna and all were talked about, asked by Arjuna at the beginning of the chapter. In the context of that, Bhagavan is explaining what it is all about. All these are basically part of the Srishti Prakriya. And within this Srishti Prakriya, there is karma, upasana, rituals and all that. There are people, yogis, who are exalted jivas. Even the devata is only an exalted jiva. Because of his tapas and all, he becomes an exalted jiva. Even he has got hunger and thirst. That is why we are giving oblations. But they are only exalted jiva. They also can get the liberation only by understanding that Satyam Jnanam Anandam Brahma is the reality. So that is the Upanishad meaning. And that is the meaning of Omkara also, which we will be explaining the next 3 verses. Yeah.
When Brahmaji goes to sleep, it means that Brahmaji is in that particular state where he does not see that he is omniscient. This is what they call the Avyakta Avastha, unmanifest state. Paratu tasmad avyaktat anyaha avyaktaha bhavaha sanatanaha. Distinct from or superior to that avyakta is another avyakta which is eternal. Tasmad paraha is similar to the expression avyaktat purushaha paraha in Kathopanishad, which describes the Lord as the one who is distinct from all causes.
We are given the quotation, you can read that. Mahataha param avyaktam purushaha paraha. Yeah.
Avyaktat purushaha paraha. Purushanna param kinchit sa kashta sa para gatihi. Kathopanishad 1.3 10.10
1.3.1.1. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you read the meaning. Yeah.
We always try to accomplish and
that
Also below that. Yeah. I think maybe
is higher than.
yeah.
Okay.
it's not their meaning, only the
Manifest is higher than Mahat. See, Mahataha param avyaktam. That is what we have discussed till now. Vyaktam and avyaktam. The unmanifest is higher than the Mahat. Purusha is higher than the unmanifest. See, avyakta, vyakta, avyaktat, avyaktam. Avyaktat, avyaktam is the parama purusham. That is talking about. Purusha is the higher than the unmanifest. Actually, it can be called aksharam also, which is the topic of this whole chapter. Avyaktat param aksharam. That is Om. There is nothing higher than Purusha. He is the end. He is the highest. That is Atma. What we have discussed in the first 6 chapters. In the 7th chapter where Ishvara equates Mattaha Anyaha Na is the Swarupa of Ishvara, Swarupa of Jiva. That is Atma. That is Aksharam. That is Avyaktat Param Avyaktam. That is being talked.
we always try to establish an end within samsara, but Purusha himself is expressed here as the end to be accomplished. Purusha is non-separate from myself, and that is also the limit, the end to be accomplished. That Purusha is Parameshwara, who is non-separate from Atma. Recognition of that is the end, and the recognition is the very nature of moksha. The nature of moksha is described in various ways: freedom from bondage, freedom from self-ignorance, freedom from samsara, reaching the abode of Vishnu, not as a place but as recognition that I am one with Ishvara, or gaining Ananda, are some of the expressions describing moksha. The most interesting one is that you gain the Purusha. This is only possible if you are already Purusha and do not know it. Then you can gain the Purusha by knowledge. To be the Purusha is to know, which is why a Brahmavit is sometimes described in terms of Brahman. The knower of Brahman is Brahman. Brahmavit Brahmayeva Bhavati.
Brahmavit Brahmayeva Bhavati is in Brihadaranyaka. What I have told in Taittiriya Upanishad is Brahmavit Apnodu Param. That is also the same thing, same meaning. Yeah.
The uniqueness of Vedanta is that the description of moksha is description of the Vastu. The different descriptions in terms of result, freedom from bondage, gaining of Ananda, etc. are confusing for some people. If Ananda is understood as bliss, some experience of happiness that is out of the ordinary, a person becomes a seeker of that bliss. Like any other thing in samsara, moksha becomes one of the things sought after. But this gain of Ananda is the gain of one's own nature. It is not experiential Ananda, but the essence of every experience of Ananda. That recognition is gaining Ananda. Significance of the word tu. Tasmatu paraha. The word tu is always to distinguish between two things and can be translated as but, so, whereas, etc. It's a word that introduces a new topic, bringing in a condition whereby something already stated is to be distinguished from what is to come. Tu here is to distinguish paravastu from everything else. Everything else has been reduced to avyakta, but superior to that, tasmat tu paraha is something else. The word tu here shows the distinction of the vastu that is going to be talked about. It conveys the idea that there is no other thing like the vastu.
Yeah, basically what we have, the Srishti Prakriya talks about manifest and unmanifest jivas and the karma, karma phala and even the upasana and all that, or exalted karma will give you exhausted phala and all that. But here he is going to talk about what is avyaktat param, that is what is the vastavam which I have been talking about, the reality of the being, the reality of Atma, reality of Paratma, reality of Ishvara, Desakala, Vastu, Aparichinnam, timeless, spaceless, the being which is what you call, it is not a thing. So it is vastavam. That reality is going to be talked about in the last 3 verses. Yeah.
Avyakta, the cause of everything that is manifest, is not the final cause after all, it is only another upadhi. The true cause is the basis of the avyakta, that is Brahman. When everything is reduced to avyakta, the cause, and if it is even other than that, you may think it is non-existent. It is like asking what on this planet is to the north of the North Pole. Once you are on the North Pole, there is nothing to the north of that. To show that the vastu under discussion is not non-existent, Bhagavan uses the word bhava, existent. It always is. That is the nature of Aksharam Brahma. It has no abhava, non-existence, and does not change at all. What is distinct from Avyakta and is an existent being is Param Brahma. Dismissal of being a member of a set. Salakshanya. Anyaha.
Start with this.
I think we will stop with that up to verse 21. We will just go through that. It's not very...
Okay.
Dismissal of being a member of a set, Salakshanya. Anyaha, a thing that is different from another thing, can still belong to the same group as the thing it is distinguished from. This is called Salakshanya, having the same characteristic. For example, chair, table, sofa, etc., even though different from each other, are characterized as furniture. All of them are of the same class. Similarly, when you say it is other than the unmanifest cause, avyaktat paraha, it may be one of the many things in the world, even though it is different from everything else. It is true that Brahman is different from everything else, but nothing is different from Brahman. Because it is not like any other thing, it is necessary to discuss the possibility of Salakshanya. Brahman cannot be characterized under any group, including Loka or Devata. To show this, Bhagavan uses the word Anya, meaning it is quite another. It is distinct in an entirely different way from what we normally understand. It is not non-existent. It is not momentarily existent. It is existent and at the same time distinct from everything else. What is that? It is avyakta. That is, it is not known as an object of the sense organs. Since Bhagavan has used the word bhava, it can be understood as an existent thing. Avyakta makes it clear that it is something that is not available for objectification. It is the cause of the very sense organ, so it is not going to be available as a sound or a form or a color. Then how are you going to know that Brahman? It's a manifest in the mind because it is the very nature of the mind. It is recognized there. Even in the sense organs it is present. It is the ear of the ear, eye of the eye, not the object of the eye, but that because of which the eyes see, ears hear, and so on.
This is Kenopanishad. Kenopanishad talks about it. Kenopanishad says, Chakshusha Chakshuhu Manaso Manaha is Atma. That is what. This is which we have discussed in the second chapter and the first 6 chapters itself. I have been continuously telling you. What is the being that there in the mind, because of which you are able to see the mind? What is the being in the which gives light to the eyes, which makes the eye see? All those things, the eye of the eye, ear of the ear, That is the Atma that is being talked about. That is what is told in Kenopanishad that he has quoted here. Yeah. All these things we have discussed. Yeah.
Kenopanishad 1.2. Even though it is not an object of perception, it is always manifest as the very truth of every sense organ, every thought, it is you. Further, it is the very basis of Avyakta, the unmanifest, which is the seed of all beings. Sanatanaha means which always exists. It is beyond cause and effect and not bound by time. It existed before, exists now, and will exist later. It is timeless. Even though we use the word beyond, there is nothing beyond. Everything we can reach or even imagine is within this Avyakta. This means it is Drik Swarupa, the very nature of the sphere which is Param Brahma. Brahma Loka, etc. are all within your knowledge and within time and space, which are manifest from Avyakta, the unmanifest. What is beyond, that is Atma, which is always immediately available as the self of all beings, purely in the form of consciousness, which is the truth of I. And this, not being limited by time, is never destroyed. Sarveshu bhuteshu nasyatsu na vinishyati.
Nasyatsu na vinashyati. Sarveshu bhuteshu nasyatsu na vinashyati. When even all the Buddhas keep coming and getting destroyed, meaning getting dissolved and reborn, this remains the same. Because it is not a thing. It is not a thing. So it is a being. So it subsists, all that, which I have always told in my this thing also I have said as Nirvisesha. Nirvisesha is always exists. It is not does not have any time or space or even the coordinates. So naturally it doesn't go through undergo any change. That is being talked about. Yeah.
The one who remains in all perishable forms, never getting destroyed, is indeed the Atma.
Come to that. So, anyway, I think we have discussed all these things, but as part of the text they keep discussing this thing because you have to distinguish it from the Srishti Prakriya which has been talked about. That is why we have to keep mentioning that. But we have all seen all these things. When we have that understanding, we can stay with it and read this for explaining the Srishti Prakriya. That's all.
पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते।